He does not wear a badge anymore, but every night he patrols like he still does. Neighbors whisper about the old police dog, the one who limps along the sidewalk just after midnight, the one who barks, not wildly, but with purpose. Last week, he would not stop barking at a gas vent near a family's door. They checked and found a leak. The week before that, he nudged a wandering toddler away from traffic. He is older now, slower, but his eyes still catch what others miss. A sparking wire beneath mulch, a pair of prowlers slipping through shadows, a gate left just slightly ajar. Then came the night he stood completely still, just outside a dark yard. He would not move. Someone was inside that house, and he knew it before anyone else did. Before we continue, do me a favor, hit like and subscribe so you never miss. He does not have a badge anymore, but he still walks like he does. The old German shepherd moved with a quiet determination. His paws struck the cracked pavement of the cul-de-sac at the same hour each night. 1:12 a.m., give or take. His gait was stiff, one leg dragging ever so slightly behind the others, but his posture remained upright. His ears twitched with precision at every gust of wind, every distant footstep, every shift in the night's rhythm. Neighbors knew him, sort of. They saw him sometimes from their windows, just a flash of tan and gray fur under the streetlight. Some kids had even named him Officer. Others never noticed him at all. That night, the fog was thicker than usual. Streetlights gave off yellow halos, and lawns shimmered with dew. The neighborhood was asleep, or at least trying to be. But the old police dog, no one remembered his real name anymore, was on duty. He made the turn onto Glenfield Court slowly, pausing at the corner like he always did, not out of confusion, out of habit. He scanned the street, the same porch lights, the same overgrown hedges, the same trash bins knocked slightly off alignment, except one thing had changed. The moment. He stepped past the gate at number 17. His nose twitched. He halted, his head dipped low, nostrils flaring. Something was wrong. The air near the front steps smelled unnatural, sharp, synthetic. His training, long buried beneath years of routine, snapped to the surface. This was no animal smell, no food, no weather. This was gas. He circled the front lawn twice, slower the second time. His paws left wet imprints in the grass, his eyes locked on the small silver pipe near the base of the wall, barely visible beneath a coil of ivy. He lowered his nose again, sniffed once, then again. Then he barked. It was not a frightened bark, not a territorial bark. It was sharp, direct, calculated. One bark every few seconds. Just loud enough, just measured enough. Inside the house, A.E., light flicked on. The old dog did not stop. Another bark, then another. He inched closer to the vent, then sat facing the window, waiting, barking, waiting. The bedroom light turned off. A hallway light blinked on. Then came the sound of a door chain sliding open, and a man stepped outside in a flannel robe and one shoe. The man saw the dog and frowned. "Go on now," he said, voice still thick with sleep. "Get." But the dog did not move. He barked again, one sharp, even burst. The man squinted, muttered something under his breath, then stepped down the porch stairs. That was when he smelled it too. He froze. A second later, he ran back inside. Lights turned, on all through the house. A woman's voice shouted something from upstairs. Then more shouts. A baby cried. The front door slammed open, and the family spilled out onto the lawn in mismatched clothes, clutching phones and diapers and confusion. The man called the gas company. The woman called 911. A neighbor from across the street wandered over, robe tied too tight, coffee spilling from a chipped mug. But the old police dog had already moved on. By the time the fire truck arrived, he had reached the far end of the block. No one noticed him slip behind the hedges. No one saw the way he paused near the alley, tilting his head at the distant hum of sirens. He stood still for a moment, watching the flashing lights illuminate the street he had just left. Then he turned and kept walking. He left paw prints on every sidewalk he crossed that night. You could still see them in the morning dew. Perfect. Little impressions in neat rows. One set stopped at the gas vent. One set moved away. The report filed later that day listed unknown witness as the initial alert source. A neighbor had mentioned some dog barking, but no one got a good look. No one could agree on where it had come from. The gas company confirmed that a small leak had been building for days. Just enough to trigger a spark if the heater had clicked on that morning. The home would have been lost. The family would have been inside. The toddler, the one who would later draw the dog on her wall with blue crayon, did not stop talking about the barky shadow. She said he had yellow eyes. She said he talked without words. Her parents smiled and nodded. Kids make things up. But that night, a camera on the corner store caught a flicker of movement. One blurry shape, 4 legs, a low tail, moving, with intention. He passed beneath the streetlight like smoke and disappeared into the trees beyond. And 3 nights later, he would be back. Same hour, same route, same quiet mission. But next time, the danger would have 2 legs. He did not take shortcuts. His patrol was precise. The old police dog moved with method. 4 steps past the hydrant, pause at the alleyway, sniff once at the stop sign pole. His routine never changed because the neighborhood never changed. Until it did. It was a Tuesday, just before 2 a.m. The rain had passed, but the streets still glistened under the sodium glow of the street lamps. A light fog clung to the curbs like breath on glass. He turned left at Bay Ridge Avenue. There was a strange scent in the air. Not a threat, something softer, something sweet. Then came the sound. Not a car, not a squirrel, not wind. It was a thump, a rubbery, rolling thump. Then a voice. High, wavering, not calling, singing. He stepped carefully toward the edge of the sidewalk, where the neighborhood slope met the main road. That is when he saw her. A child. Tiny. In footy pajamas with little moons on them. Blonde hair puffed in sleep tangles. Standing in the middle of the street. Alone. She was laughing at something on the ground. A ball, blue and half deflated, bounced away from her in slow motion. She waddled after it. The old police. Dog froze. His training did not cover this. No command for it. No protocol. Just instinct. Then he moved. He cut through the overgrown yard of the corner house, sprinting faster than he had in years. His breath came out in hard puffs. His back leg buckled once, but held. A car was coming. He heard it before she did. Tires. Humming. Headlights cutting through the fog. The girl bent down to grab the ball. The old dog reached her first. He barreled into her side. Not hard. Just enough. She stumbled backward, landing on her bottom near the curb. She blinked in confusion. Her ball rolled into the grass. The dog turned. The car's headlights flared. Brakes squealed. Tires screamed. The driver never saw the girl, but he saw the dog. The German Shepherd stood directly in the beam, facing down the car, tail low, ears back. The car stopped 6 feet away. The driver threw it into park, jumped out, started shouting, then froze. He recognized the dog. Everyone in the neighborhood had seen him by now. No one knew where he came from, but he was always around. The girl whimpered. The driver rushed to her, kneeling, asking if she was okay. The girl pointed at the dog and said, "He got my ball." By the time the mother came running, barefoot, panicked, robe flapping, the dog was already moving away. Not fast, not in fear, just done. He did not look back. He followed the edge of the schoolyard fence, disappearing into a narrow gap between 2 sheds. The mother held her child so tightly it looked painful. The driver tried to explain what happened. The girl kept repeating, "The doggy pushed me. The doggy pushed me." The man would later tell a local officer that the dog had moved like he knew what was coming, that he had stared at the car, not in fear, but in warning. Like a signal. The security camera from a nearby gas station caught only the tail end of it. A flash of fur, the glint of eyes reflecting light. Then the girl, sitting up on the curb, alive. That night, for the first time, someone went looking for the old police dog. A man with a flashlight. A mother with tear-streaked cheeks. A teen with a phone camera. None of them found him, but his paw prints were there, on the wet concrete, leading away from the street, across the crosswalk, toward the alley. One set, steady and straight, and deeper in the neighborhood, behind a half-fallen fence, beneath a rotting wooden deck. The old dog lay down for just a moment. His breathing was rough. One paw trembled slightly. He closed his eyes just long enough to listen. The wind had changed direction. A new scent rode on it. Ash, melted rubber. Something burned. He stood up and began walking. It started with the wind. The old police dog had always hated storms, not because of the noise, but because storms made everything harder to smell. The air got thick, like it was trying to hide things. That night, the clouds rolled in low. Trees bent with every gust. Leaves whipped across the sidewalk like panicked whispers. Rain was coming, but it had not arrived yet. That was always the worst part, the waiting. He turned onto Crestline Drive. It was later than usual. Nearly 2:30 a.m. He moved slower tonight, head low, nose working overtime. Then he caught the scent. It was sharp at first. Rubber, fray, sweat. Then something else underneath. Something familiar. Fear. He followed it, past the corner lot, past the rusted fire hydrant he always paused at, into the narrow gravel alley between 2 houses. A tangle of chain-link fences blocked most paths, but the old dog knew where to duck. He squeezed through the split boards of a backyard fence, his ribs brushing against damp wood. There, in the far corner, beneath a plastic deck chair tipped on its side, was another dog. Smaller, younger, soaked in mud, trembling so violently it looked like he was vibrating. A torn leash trailed behind him, snagged on a weed. His collar was bright green, the kind given to new pets, still shiny from recent use. A tag clinked faintly against the metal ring, but the wind was too loud to read it clearly. The old police dog approached slowly. No growl. No show of dominance. Just presence. The young dog yelped once and tried to back up, but the leash held him fast. The rain began. It was not gentle. Heavy drops slammed the leaves, drummed on trash can lids, filled the gutters in minutes. The small dog whined again, pawing at the leash. The old shepherd circled once, sniffed the air again, then pressed his snout to the knot in the leash. Eddie was tight, tangled around a twisted root. Not by accident, the dog had panicked, bolted, spun himself in place. The shepherd worked at it, with his teeth, not fast, just focused. The leash was slick and muddy, but the knot began to loosen. The young dog stared up at him, still shaking, still afraid. But he did not move away. The knot gave. The leash slipped free. The old dog stepped back and waited. The young one stayed frozen for a few seconds, unsure what to do with his own freedom. Then he stepped forward, sniffed the older dog once, and followed. They moved through the rain together. No human saw them. No window lit up. But two sets of paw prints cut through the rising puddles that night. One large, one small. The shepherd guided the younger dog back, the way he came, around the alley, through the broken fence, up toward the top of the hill. There, beneath the glow of a streetlight buzzing faintly in the downpour, he stopped. The young dog looked up at him. The shepherd stared at the house across the street. Its porch light was on, and its front door was wide open. The old dog nudged the younger one forward, then sat down. His work was done. The young dog crossed the street, hesitant, ears pinned back. But when he stepped onto the porch, a voice shouted. Then a scream. Then a woman ran forward, wrapped him in a towel, sobbing. Man joined her, shouting into the house for the kids to come see. They all knelt around the dog, stroking his ears, holding his face. No one looked across the street. The old dog stood, shook the rain from his coat, and turned back into the night. The next morning, the woman posted on the local Facebook group, "He's back. Thank God. We left the gate open. We thought we lost him forever." A neighbor replied under the post, "Strangest thing. My Ring cam caught two dogs walking past at 3 a.m. One big, one small. Like the big one was guiding him home." The comment got 6 likes, and then everyone moved on. But down the block, just behind the row of dumpsters behind the strip mall, a paw print trail curved away from the wet concrete and disappeared into the gravel. And on the wind, above the smell of morning coffee and wet newspapers, came a different kind of scent. Burned rubber, muffled voices, and metal tools in the dark. The night was warm, but the shadows felt colder. The old police dog moved, differently now. His steps were slower, not from exhaustion, but from concentration. Something had shifted in the neighborhood. Subtle things. Lights left on too late. Motion sensors clicked more often. The wind carried smells he did not trust. Synthetics. Rubber. Sweat. He had walked this route for years. But this night felt like it was watching him back. It was 3:07 a.m. The neighborhood was asleep. Porch lights were out. Curtains drawn. A few insects danced in the glow of a flickering street lamp. He passed the hardware store first. The paint buckets had been left out again. Lazy habit from a closing shift. He sniffed once, moved on. Then he heard it. Not loud. Not a crash. Just a clink. Metal on metal. He froze. A second sound followed. Quieter, like a zipper being pulled slowly. Then footsteps. 2 sets. Soft. Rubber soles. Wrong weight distribution. Not residents. Trespassers. He moved fast but silent. A shadow melting between trash bins, hugging the walls, ducking beneath the broken slats in the alley fence. His ears were up now, nose low. There, a small delivery van parked behind the corner store, its back doors cracked open. One figure inside, one beside it watching the street. No headlights, no noise. They were careful. They should not have been. He took position at the corner. Watched. The figure inside rummaged through plastic containers, cordless drills, boxed generators, coiled copper wire. The man outside tapped a crowbar against his thigh, nervous. The old dog did not bark. He waited, watched, calculated. When the second figure stepped away, only a few feet, but just enough, the dog struck. Not a full charge, not a wild leap, just one quick sprint and a lunge at the trash bin beside the van. It slammed to the ground, sending metal lids skittering into the dark. Both figures froze. The outside man turned first, flashlight shaking. The beam swung across the alley and caught the eyes. The old police dog stood perfectly still, just behind the tipped bin, tail low, shoulders squared. He growled, not loud, but long. The flashlight beam stuttered. The man backed up. "There's a dog," he hissed toward the van. The other man cursed, jumped out, dropped something that clattered. A crowbar? A drill? The dog did not move. He growled again, this time louder. Then he stepped forward, once. The second man bolted. The first followed. One of them dropped a backpack, straps flapping behind him like torn wings. The old dog chased them only to the alley mouth, just far enough. They vanished around the corner. The sound of running feet faded. A car door slammed. Tires squealed. Then silence. He turned back to the van, sniffed once. Nothing had been fully taken yet. He circled it once, sat beside the scattered tools. Watched. 5 minutes passed, then 10. The automatic floodlight above the shop clicked on at 3:32 a.m., and for just a moment, a camera inside the shop's break room caught an image. A large German shepherd, gray the muzzle, sitting beside a tipped trash can, his eyes fixed on the back door. The store owner, Mr. Singh, would find the footage later. He would not believe it at first. He would rewind 3 times, call his nephew to help check the timestamps. Nothing was missing from the van, but there was a long, fresh scratch on the wooden door frame, from a crowbar, and a single paw print just beside it, pressed into the soft dust of the alley floor, deeper than usual, like the dog had planted himself and refused to move. The police report mentioned no suspects, just attempted forced entry, thwarted by unknown disturbance. Mr. Singh printed out the still from the footage and taped it to the wall behind the counter. It was blurry, but the eyes were clear. A customer asked who the dog was. Mr. Singh only said, "Ours, I think." The playground was always quiet at night. Its bright colors faded under the moonlight. Red slides looked rusted. Yellow monkey bars dulled to gray. The swing swayed gently, creaking with every breeze, moving just enough to suggest they were not empty. The old police dog approached it slowly, not because he feared it, but because he respected it. This place held noise in the daytime, laughter, running feet, high-pitched shouts. But at night, it was still. And in stillness, he noticed things. It was nearly 3 a.m. His nose twitched. Something was off. The mulch. The ground smelled wrong. Not decay. Not animal. Not even trash. Hot plastic. Ozone. Burn. He turned his head. His ears caught the hum first, a faint buzzing that came and went like a radio tuned between frequencies. It was not in the air, it was in the ground. The old dog moved toward the jungle gym, pawing once at a sagging rope ladder, then sniffed the base of the slide. Then he stopped, tilted his head, dug, one paw, then another. Not wild, not panicked, measured, just enough to loosen the top layer of mulch. A spark, tiny, bright, gone in an instant. He stepped back. Something beneath the mulch was arcing. He sniffed again, then circled the spot twice before laying down next to it, his body stretched along the edge of the exposed earth. He did not move. The sky above remained empty. No one saw him, but the next morning, someone did. Maya, 13, hoodie, always late for school. She took the long way because she hated the shortcut. Her phone was already recording when she walked past the slide. She saw the mulch disturbed. She saw the old dog lying beside it. She stopped. "Hey, dog," she muttered, mostly to herself. He did not react. Then she noticed his eyes were open. Fixed. She followed his gaze, saw nothing. But when she stepped near the spot he had dug, her phone buzzed in her pocket. A weird static noise played through her headphones. She bent down. The ground smelled weird. She took a picture. Another. Crouched low and saw it. A thin wire, blackened, frayed, bare copper exposed, flickering faintly, right where her little brother usually sat to tie his shoes every morning. Her breath caught. She called her mom. Then the school. By noon, the city crew had dug up the area. The report was brief. Aged electrical conduit, exposed by erosion. They called it a fluke. The crew chief told a teacher the wire had the potential to spark, given the right pressure. Said it was lucky no one had stepped on it. But Maya did not believe in luck. She posted the photo online. Same dog that pulled a baby out of the street. He was here too. He found this. The post got 37 shares. The next day, the PTA put out an announcement. Playground closed for repairs. Thank the local hero who spotted the danger. No one named the dog. They never did, but his paw prints were still there, right beside the caution tape, pressed into the edge of the mulch. And that night, he walked past the playground again, slower this time. The hum was gone, but something else stirred in the distance. A house, a yard, a fence no longer locked. He turned his head and kept walking. Some nights, the neighborhood did not need him, but he walked it anyway. Routine mattered. Routes mattered. If he skipped one street, missed 1 yard, something might slip through. He did not take those chances. It was cold that night, the kind of cold that pressed into bones. His old joints ached more with every step. But he kept walking. By 3:11 a.m., he reached the final block of his loop, a cul-de-sac with neatly trimmed lawns, motion lights on timers, and fences meant to keep things out or in. He passed house after house, sniffed each gate, all latched, all silent. Then he came to number 43. He stopped. The scent hit him first. Fabric softener, new plastic, human breath, mixed with something that did not belong. The gate was open, not swinging, not fully ajar, just unlocked. Left that way. He moved closer, each step precise. At the edge of the lawn, he stopped again, head low, ears pricked. Movement. Inside the backyard, behind the hedge, something shifted. A figure, tall, careful, dressed wrong for the weather. Light shoes, dark clothes, no coat. Not a neighbor. The dog did not growl, did not bark. He stepped forward once, paws crunching softly on the gravel. Then he sat, facing the gate, still unblinking. The figure inside paused, watched, then took a step toward the house. The dog did not move. Another step. Then the porch light flicked on. The man froze. The light had not been triggered by motion. Someone inside had turned it on. A silhouette appeared in the upstairs window. A child. The man in the yard backed up, looked once more at the dog, then turned. Fast. The gate creaked. He walked past the dog, close enough to touch, and did not. 30. Dog watched him leave, did not chase, did not bite, just watched. The man disappeared down the street. The gate swung slightly, caught by wind. The dog stood, nosed it shut, and sat again. He stayed there for an hour. By the time the parents checked the yard, alerted by their daughter's half-asleep comment about the man near the swing set, the only thing they found was a single paw print pressed into the frost near the gate. No damage, nothing stolen, just that. And on the neighbor's camera across the street, a blurry figure was seen walking away from number 43. 4 legs, slow pace, tail down, disappearing into fog. The stories never line up. Some say he saved a family from a gas explosion. Others swear he pulled a toddler from the street. A few claim he barked down a pair of masked intruders. Most of the neighborhood has heard something. Fewer believe all of it. But no one questions the pattern. The paw prints always come. First, sometimes in dew, sometimes in dust, sometimes tracked faintly through mud, circling danger before it arrives. No leash, no collar. Just presence. He walks the same route, though no one tells him to. Past the school, down the alley, along the fence, where the wires were once buried. He stops outside the same store, pauses by the old patrol car parked in a driveway, the one with its decals faded and tires soft. Some nights, he stands in front of houses before anything happens. Other nights, he leaves after something almost did. His badge is gone. It was never returned. But he remembers where it sat. Once, a boy dropped a toy sheriff's badge into a puddle at the edge of the playground. The water stilled just enough to catch the reflection. Gray fur, focused eyes, a low tail ready to rise. He did not pick up the badge. He simply walked past it. The boy never saw him. But when he looked down again, the toy had shifted, pushed slightly out of the water, placed gently in the grass. Not everyone notices the old police dog. Some think he is a stray. Others think he belongs to someone else. A few have tried to follow him. None have succeeded. He disappears before dawn. And yet, there is always a new story. A cable found frayed but untouched. A basement door found unlocked but never opened. A motion light triggered just before a teen changed their route. Home. No one claims credit, but the paw prints are always there. The neighborhood has not had a major incident in months. No reported break-ins, no accidents, just near misses, just close calls, just close enough to wonder. People talk. They say things like, "I think he's watching over us." They say it with a half-smile, like they are joking. But then, they check their gates twice. They leave porch lights on a little longer. They keep their kids closer. And every so often, they leave out a bowl of water, just in case. No goodbye has been written. No plaque nailed to a post. No ceremony planned. Because he is not gone. He is still walking, still listening, still guarding what no one else thinks to watch. And that is what makes him a protector. Not the badge, not the training, not the title, just the choice to stay. Dogs truly are the most loyal companions in our lives. What did you think of this heartwarming story? Let us know in the comments. Like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel for daily emotional dog stories. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Click here to watch the next story of love, loyalty, and the incredible bond we share with our paw-some friends.